Yeah, okay, yeah, that'd make sense. And they wouldn't interfere with the snow cat either.
A little after 10, got the DUI Task Force plan and review and approval.
So, good morning,
Morning,
Commissioners. You can see that the plan, there was no plan submitted for the state fiscal year 2017. So, in talking to the state, when they came down and spoke with us to get the task force back on track, they recommended that we go ahead and do an 18-month plan. So, we're doing for half of the rest of the fiscal year for 17, and then for state fiscal year 2018. So I think last week you got a copy of the...
Casey's got it there. I was looking at it. Oh, did you give it to me? No, I think I gave it back to you.
The plan. You'll notice that the format is a little different than what you've seen in the past. And this is to comply with the way that the state would like them presented. So the budget is a little bit, we budgeted for, I think, $9,000, and that's to cover the 18-month period rather than what you would normally see for the one-year period. We have the full meeting that's going to be coming up on January 19th at 4 o'clock here in your commissioner's room. We've gotten folks like the fire chief here to represent the fire department. We've spoken with the people that represent the alcoholic beverage industry. Rana is interested in doing it. Also spoken with Muffy and Gary Bullock. And so one of them would probably be joining us. We have representation from the hospital, from mental health, and we're still working with the school. St. Regis School is very interested. And what we're going to do also is we would like student representation on there. And so the St. Regis School definitely is going to be sending, it's going to get a student that would be interested in doing that.
Cool.
So, and I know that the sheriff is going to be contacting the Superior and Alberton School District.
They already talked to Scott, and they said they were interested, but when I talked to them, they were already on Christmas break, so I'll follow up and talk with them next week. I'd be real surprised if Kyle Fisher isn't interested, and like I said, I know Superior is, so it'd be nice to have a student from all three schools,
Yeah.
and then maybe a principal from each too, so.
So, yeah, and as far as from the St. Regis, I mean, I think Joe, the superintendent, is maybe interested in coming.
Good.
So we're looking forward to getting those folks on board so that we can really get going with the plan. The coordinator is the coordinator. I'm not the boss. I'm just kind of coordinating it, and it really needs to be the members of the task force that really kind of direct what we have. But we do have a plan. We haven't had compliance checks since before I was sheriff. The task force before didn't, just for some reason opted not to do that. So, but we feel it's important enough to get that back on track.
Cool.
So we have left in the plan enough so that we can play that if something comes up, we may be able to do some stuff, but we really plan on partnering with some of the other organizations like Montana Buckle Up, and I think you've seen some of the drafts, some of the other organizations, so that hopefully we can pool some of our resources and messages so that we're on the same board. I didn't know whether if you had a chance to take a look at the statistics for the impaired driving arrests and convictions for Mineral County. So we're looking at 2014 and 2015. 2014 and 15, we actually had the same amount of DUI arrests. Now, this data was taken for both the district court and the justice courts. And so there were 39 DUI arrests for both, with 22 convictions in 2014 and 23 convictions in 2015. So one of the things that we really want to do is that in the youth survey that was done throughout the county, we're seeing an increase, of course, in the kids that are using alcohol. And in part of the plan, one of the things I addressed for the county issues was that in 2015, the Mineral County Youth Risk Behavior Survey indicated that among middle school group, 7.6% had consumed 5 or more drinks of alcohol in a row, which means within a couple of hours, 1 or more days within the past 30 days of when they had taken the survey. When we included the high school group, that percentage increased to just over 20%. So when we're taking a look, we really want to target the kids a little bit earlier than we have, rather than just the high schoolers. The middle school needs to, because if we're seeing, even 7.6% using that much alcohol 1 or more days within that, and that's just that 30-day period. We don't know how many more it would have been if it would have been longer.
So
I'm sorry,
the
go
other
ahead.
thing that we want to do, and we're going to talk to the new county attorney about being on the board as well. I think it's important that she's part of this, because our funding is, the DUI Task Force funding is driven by, when you get a DUI, they take your driver's license, and to get it reinstated, you have to pay $200. $100 of that dollars goes to the DUI Task Force. And that's our sole income to help fund the DUI Task Force. So I think it's important that she's part of this too, so we're all on the same page, with DUIs and what that does for us. But the other thing that I suggested we do too, if we want to spend the way we're forecasted to, I think we're going to have to do some fundraisers too. Like have, say, a dunk booth, something like that at the fair that, who wouldn't want to dunk Mike Boone, have a shot at dunking him, So, but I think,
Or the sheriff.
anything we can do, or the sheriff, or Ernie, the former sheriff, or Monty Turner sitting up there in a Speedo, anybody want to see that dunk,
Commissioners.
so, yeah, but
Casey.
anything to raise some money to help us, fund it the way we want to and the way we want to run it. Because from what I've seen, I don't think, we just want the DUI Task Force to be ran the way it should be ran, and I haven't seen that since I've been here, and I know Ernie hasn't either. So we're happy to take it over and make it work the way it should be for Mineral County.
Good.
And so, the advertising that we want to get out, like I was mentioned before, off record, about the reader boards, getting some of that message out there. And so, and then, once we have our first meeting, the other thing too is to get our other members on board, for ideas and suggestions on how we can do some other fundraisers, so that we can make a larger impact. One of the things that's difficult, I know, for us, because of that interstate coming through here, we can't control, and, we can target a lot of our folks. Of course, some of these crashes are people that are not residents from here, but we still, those reader boards are in the towns, they're on the main drags, and so there's a lot of people that go through there in St. Regis, so if we can still, get that public message out, every little bit helps.
Scott said they've got a reader board they're starting up too, so, and he said we could put stuff on it as well, so.
Oh, they're putting up another one other than the one at Castle's?
I don't know where it's gonna be, Lori, or
Because I know that he's in control of or puts the stuff on the one at Castle's here, that Scott.
we'll talk to him next week about it and see, what that's all about. Maybe that's what he's talking about, I don't know. It sounded like it was some kind of electronic one though that they were gonna start, I don't know.
Well, that one's.
That's electronic.
Yeah,
Oh,
One up here at Castle's that.
right across.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the one on the outside there, okay. Yeah. So,
Sounds good, Ernie.
So, but what we do need is for you, as the commissioners for the county, to sign off.
I will make a motion that we sign and approve the Mineral County DUI Task Force
Plan.
plan for fiscal year 2017, 2018.
I would second that. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thanks.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And after you sign the form, then I'll get this mailed off to the state.
We got it signed
I
on.
believe it's.
You have that there. And what I will do is, I will get a complete signed copy for your records
Okay.
to Casey. And we thank you, and we'll keep you abreast.
Yeah.
Quarterly after our meetings with what's going on, so that,
All right.
keep you informed.
Sounds good.
So, thank you very much. We
Thank you for
appreciate
coming
it.
in.
Thank you. We hope you had a Merry Christmas and
Yeah.
and that you have a safe New Year.
Yes,
Quiet one.
yeah. The agenda, EOC and Communication Plan Review and Approval, and LEPC Emergency Operation Plan Review. We have
Yeah.
George Gupton with us.
The emergency operations plan, the EOC part, I don't have anything on that. It's as usual included in the emergency operations plan that
Is that what?
if we have to open an EOC, it will be this room. And we shouldn't have any problems with that. If the only difficulty would be if you had a meeting scheduled at the same time, and then you might have to meet in somewhere else. But we talked about that last year, and everybody's okay with it. But mainly, I wanted to get the emergency operations plan approved, and then I'll go to the first two town meetings, the 1st of January, and have them sign off on it. They've got it already and are looking at it, and I don't think there'll be any hassle there. And the other thing I wanted the approval on, Lori was in on all this discussion of these plans and stuff. The LEPC approved them all. But the LEPC, I'm changing the bylaws on it, and the reason for that is the state has their desires and wishes, one of them being that the county commissioners and local government approve the officers of the local emergency planning committee. Before in our old bylaws, it was just by election. So I put in there that it'll be by election, and then you guys will approve it afterwards or not. So that's the main, there's two changes. Before, we had something like 2/3 of the membership had to be present to be a quorum. Sometimes that was, not very often, but that could be a difficulty, so we've changed it to members present will be a quorum.
A lot of times it was hard to get.
Oh, yeah.
And when I typed it up, I put Roman Zalawi's name on it, so I don't know, you can make him sign it when he gets back, maybe?
Yeah.
And this one, the only thing I need back on it from you right now is, and all of you guys sign it, is this page here. And it's what I'll take and get the town folks to sign too. And I'm sure Dwayne has read all of the EOP, all 99 pages of it.
Oh, yeah.
And Lori did too when we were doing the planning. Nothing real drastic changed in it.
This is the one you need signed?
Yeah. And then this, just have Roman sign it, or I guess somebody else can sign it for him, I don't know. But this is the LEPC bylaws, and I have a whole copy of it. And,
Well, he'll be back next week. So.
yeah, just date it today,
Okay.
if you would, because I already turned in my quarterly report that says it was approved December 30th. I think we have a majority that approves it. Hi, Mike.
I'll make a motion that we sign the EOC and Communication Plan and the LEPC Emergency Operation Plan.
I would second that motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I have one other thing that I didn't bring with me typed. I have it in my computer and on a stick that Casey can put on her computer. I'd like it on
Here you go.
I think I gave it to somebody once before, but on the county letterhead with your signature saying that you're reimbursing me $30 a month for cell phone costs. We've been doing that for a year or so. And the state in their accounting practices says, oh, well, you have to have an agreement for that. You can't just do that. So I'll have Casey, I couldn't put it on your letterhead, so I'll have, just give that to Casey and have her get it done and you can sign it. You'll also get next week or whenever the next time rolls around, you'll get a claim from me for $180 for cell phone. That's because I usually only put one in every quarter for 3 months for $90. I forgot last quarter. So that's for last quarter and that's for the last 6 months.
Did you make a note of that on there? That was,
No. Well, it's written on the back of the claim, you know,
6 months.
that's for the 2
Oh.
quarters. Yeah. Just escaped my attention. We haven't had anything going on, a couple of crashes, I suppose, and Kat was telling me that they have one trucker who doesn't want to pay the wrecker or them or anybody else that had spilled a bunch of stuff, so
Oh, really?
she was gonna contact her insurance company because the trucker said, well, we're not gonna pay any of this and we don't want the insurance company involved, and file a, she's.
Well, somebody's gotta pay it.
I told her, file a claim and see what happened. They probably don't want the insurance company
Company
involved.
knowing.
Normally, it's because they've already got too many claims and they're afraid they're gonna get canceled and kicked out of
Well,
business.
I mean, either, you know, and the way to avoid that is they pay it, but if
Yeah.
they're not gonna pay it,
Yeah, that,
there's nothing wrong with going around the insurance company.
a couple of spills
Paying
up there
for it yourself.
that will require cleanup by cleanup outfit, but they probably won't get done until spring now. I imagine the snow is probably pretty deep on them and will stay that way, but they're in the median, so no real big hassle.
There's one in the ditch right out by Jimmy Warkins this morning, but he wasn't tipped over.
Oh, really?
And he just looks
I
like he
wondered.
drove off, got sucked off the edge there. It's a wonder he didn't. He must not have hardly been moving.
I'll bet it was nasty at one point this morning, because at home, we had 32 degrees.
Yeah.
And I thought,
That's, I had 30 when I got
the,
there.
the weather is not cooperating with those forecasters hardly at all.
No.
And
And
then
let's hope it stays in that warm mode and not this
Oh.
going
Monday,
below
they're
that.
forecasting 20 below Monday
Yeah.
night, so.
Yeah, I watched their little presentation on KCI last night about the Emergency Operations Management Team in Missoula County and what they were preparing for. Pretty much, you guys need to have water and food on hand and maybe a generator.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
It's Montana.
Well, you know, there's a lot of pressure from the state and the Fed. And I'm not sure, of course, my approval or disapproval is immaterial. It's what protects the county, but they get to where they want to be so paternalistic and tell everybody what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
A problem with that is then everybody feels entitled to that, and if you don't provide that every time they turn around, they're gonna sue you or something.
Yeah.
And we haven't had any, one thing we pride ourselves on is that most of our folks are reasonably competent and capable of taking care of each other and themselves, and I think we can fairly well rely on most of the folks here. If their neighbor's having a problem, they'll know about it, and they'll either let us know or they'll do something about it. But yeah, they get points for putting out all these public information
Yeah.
things, and
Yeah, and that's fine, I mean, it's just, but you're not gonna change the 20 below, and you're
No.
not gonna change the 3 feet of snow that it puts down.
and South Dakota is still,
You can be prepared for it, you know?
South Dakota still has people that'll probably be out of power for quite a while.
Oh,
'cause
I'm sure.
They said that, what was it, some of the power lines had ice on them 6 inches in diameter.
Wow.
Just took them right to the ground, and they can't even get to most of it.
I see the governor suspended the driving hour regulations for propane truck delivery and fuel deliveries to homes, so he's gonna let them drive more than whatever the DOT does.
Huh, okay. That's here, or?
Yeah, in Montana, yeah. Cause they were talking to somebody from Axman there last night, and they said, you know, we get so backed up because everybody forgot to fill their propane tank or whatever, their fuel tank, and they're wanting it right now. And he said, problem with that is, you get a heavy snowstorm, and we go from being able to deliver propane, you know,
Mhm.
20 of those tanks a day to having to do 10 or 5 or however many we can get out there. And, you know, he said, then our help has to work more hours. And he goes, we don't like to work anybody more hours. He goes, if we work somebody 60 hours driving our propane tank, we give them 2 days off. And so we don't like to do that, but he did suspend that, so kinda interesting.
I didn't know he could do that, but
I didn't either.
sounds
Didn't either.
reasonable to me.